Hello everyone and welcome to the next video. In this video we will see how to create our first web application and how do we run that in the browser. So to start with we will need to open our IDE, which is the Visual Studio Code, and we will open the terminal. We can open that with by going in the terminal section and selecting this new terminal, and here if we press one enter we will see in which directory we are. And if you want to go into some other directory you can uh, use cd to go into some other directory. Cd is for change directory, and we can go to other directory using that. And once we are here we just need to check first that whether our node.js is working in this directory or not. So we will type npm and we can just check, and yes, npm is working. So npm is for node package manager, and npm is provided by node.js, so that's why we are able to use the npm command. Now we will install the Angular CLI. Angular CLI is a command line interface which is provided by the Angular, and using that CLI we can do many things very easily. So Angular CLI is very important here, and we are going to create our web application using Angular CLI. First we will need to install Angular CLI. So we will install Angular CLI with the command npm install -g for global @angular CLI angular/CLI. So -g because we want to use the Angular commands from this Visual Studio Code. So we will give -g. And if we want to install any specific version of Angular CLI, we can mention that with the symbol and 7 or 8, like this. But if we don't specify any version, it will install the latest version of Angular CLI. So we will type this command and we will press enter. And here our Angular CLI installation is started. It may take some time depending on your laptop capabilities and your network connection, but it's a single time process. After this we don't need to install Angular CLI again. It's like similar to installing a software. So once we have Angular CLI we can create any number of Angular applications, which is a good thing. The latest version of Angular is 9, and you can see that we have got Angular CLI of version 9.1.7. So and it is successfully installed and it took 53 seconds. So for installing, for checking whether we have an Angular CLI installed or not successfully, we can just write ng, which is for Angular, and press enter. All the Angular commands, like any other commands which you have seen, that it starts with the base. Like for Angular we all the commands start with ng. For Git all the commands start with git, and so on. For npm all the commands start with npm. So here we have all the options which are available with ng command, and that means we have installed Angular CLI successfully. Now we will create our first application, and to do that we just need to write a single command, which is ng for Angular, g for no sorry new, and ng new and the application name. So let's say my application name is student, manage student application, student hyphen application, ng new student application, and press enter. It is asking whether you would like to add Angular routing, and it is very cool feature of very cool feature, because Angular routing is actually it defines all the routes means if you click on home button, where it should redirect, when you click on logout button, where it should redirect. So all those things we define in this Angular routes, and we can create that later on by ourselves if we just select no, but Angular will provide a basic structure for us, so we should select yes, because anyhow we are going to develop it, and press enter. Now here we are having some options, which is which style sheet format would you like, and CSS is a very basic one. CSS is for cascading style sheet, and SCSS is for structured cascading style sheet. So SCS is the advanced version of CSS, and that is what we are going to use. And we can use CSS also, which doesn't make any difference, but it is good practice to go with the SCSS one. We may cover what is the difference between SCS and SCS in the future videos. And press enter, and now our application is created. You can see we are having this folder structure getting ready. It may again take some time, and yes, we require internet connection to run these two commands, because it is actually downloading and creating these things for us. So you can see all the size of all the files which are creating. Installing packages. And here we have our applications installed successfully. It took around 5 minutes for me, but it's worth the time, because we don't need to do anything else. We got this we got some warnings, but it's okay, we don't have any errors. And let's test this whether we have uh, our application built or created successfully or not. So here the command is ng serve, and we will discuss these commands later on, but for now let me give a hint. If we just say hyphen hyphen open, it will open the application once it is compiled, and it will automatically open the application in the browser. So ng serve hyphen hyphen open, and we will press enter. And you can see that we got an error. This is a nice way to demonstrate. We know that we are in the folder yet and not in the application. So as earlier I said, we can switch our directory using the cd command. We will just do cd, which is, and go inside this Angular projects folder. So which is inside this Angular projects, we have student application folder. So we will mention the folder name. which is student hyphen application. CD student application and press enter, and now you can see that this path is now pointing to this folder. And now this folder is nothing but our Angular application. And now if we open this same command, it should work. See, if our application is compiled successfully, and first time our Windows is asking which browser to use, and I can click this always use this app option, and I can select whichever browser I want. So I will select Google Chrome and click OK. And this is our first web application, and we did not had to do anything in this. And there are some links provided by the Angular team through which if we are new we can learn these things, like what is the CLI commands which we have, or what are the cool things which we can do in Angular. Okay, so thank you all guys. That's it in this video, and see you in the next video. Bye.